All right, welcome to the weekend, Saturday, the 25th Local Swell Trackers. I just wanted to get going here with the last big one. In fact, this storm right here produced waves up to 35 feet at Jaws and outer reefs. Conditions were stormy, heavy, and about as big as it ever gets. The last time it was this big was almost 30 years ago. I'm hearing 1986 and 1983. It's definitely a once-every-decade level storm. So here we go. It's on the dateline. There were winds of hurricane force in there with seas over 50 feet. It had a track very near to us thanks to that low jet stream with 220 knot winds in it. And look at that beast right there just pumping the waves up for Hawaii on Big Wednesday. We're not likely, as I said, even prior to this happening, likely to see this again for the entire season. And now I could possibly say for the next several years. Clicking in the animation, you see it fades off, but we got something right on its heels, and that's what we're seeing today. This guy was still close enough with high enough winds to bring us up to 10 to 15 earlier today. It's storm surf. Due to the storminess that's so near to the islands, it disrupts the trades. We had a cone of flow in a front, etc. And that guy fades off, and it'll be coming up again on Sunday. As this guy passes off into the Gulf, take a look. Here she comes. This one gets right on top of us as well. It'll be a northwester. We're claiming 12 to 18 feet on Sunday afternoon, fading down on Monday, but still being just above warning levels. Buoy readings could get 15 feet, 16 seconds. That's what they're predicting. All right, so let's roll the current models for today, January 25th, Saturday. Here she comes following the big one. We'll go ahead and click in the animations. You can see she has a captured fetch. The center or direction of the storm track is the same as the fetches on its westerly flank. That allows it to grip the ocean surface, supporting winds basically. And that's why this one's going to be a large one, especially too, thanks to the proximity of which the storm nears the islands. It'll be to under 300 miles. Clicking in the animation further, we get the high pressure coming in from the north. Now we have some storms up here near the Aleutians, and the pressure gradient between them is kind of squeezing, causing those lows to come right down on top of us with higher winds. The low, again, moves down this Monday, Tuesday, getting to about 500 miles away. We'll see 10 feet, 14 seconds from a very northerly angle, north to north-northwest. Wave Watch 3 says filling in Wednesday, producing 8 to 12 from this guy right here. All right, next up, in a series of 5 events that I'm covering here, kind of a broad mix of storminess up here with a low intensifying in the central Aleutians by Wednesday the 29th. The former dissipates up into the Aleutians. The other one intensifies but tracks east. But the fetch on this flank here will push down some 8 to 10 foot surf with 15 seconds the second half of Friday into Saturday. And then we get a broad area of storminess according to the models right now. This is fairly long range. Anytime you get out over 5 days, things can change. But that complex stormy area around Kamchatka gets close to the dateline, Tuesday the 28th. So again, that storminess, that same regions on the models Wednesday through Thursday. It's a marginal gale low. You don't see those deep reds in there. We need the higher reds or higher winds to get the longer periods and the bigger swell. This one comes off the Kuril Islands over here with that track as it broadens, and then it dissipates by Friday. What we're going to go ahead and claim is from the sweep of those weak gales, and it stays far out too. We'll go ahead with the short period 12-second 4 to 6 foot surf from this on Monday, February 3rd. Now I have all of this written down in the big picture if you want to go over it. Last but not least, you see that stormy area over there? Well, that one has a little bit more promise, and then we also have something popping up right here on Saturday. That's going to disrupt our winds, bring some weather. That's what the National Weather Service is forecasting. Again, it's pretty far out. We'll at least give you a heads up. This large complex area of lows off Japan to the eastern Aleutians, well, the track isn't optimal, but it's broad enough. We could get some 6 to 10 foot west-northwest Wednesday, the 4th of February. You want to mark your calendars there. So again, there's 1, and then we've got 2, more northerly swell. We've got 3 here. We got 4, and that's not even including the one we got today, Saturday, not including the really big one last Wednesday. Hawaii's getting the biggest, most consistent surf on planet Earth. Okay, let's go down under because we've had some solid 3-foot waves from the south-southwest. Here's the remnant fetch on the hindcast from Storm Surf. Thanks for their models to Mark, Sponsler, and take a look. It got to the north of New Zealand. and kept us in the real fun zone, mixing in with the northwest wrap from Big Wednesday. Pretty cool stuff. Now we're going to the current models and really not showing much, which is typical this time of year. Clicking in the animations, there's nothing of significance, absolutely going into a small period, but take a look at that guy. All right, now this is Thursday the 30th of January, end of the month pretty much. We see another system southeast of New Zealand. It actually has for a little while, a northeast bound tilt towards the equator. That's what we like. It does weaken as it goes, so the gales will weaken. But I'm going to still go ahead and claim some 1 to 2 occasional 3-foot sets for the top spots, top sets at the swell's peak, and that'd be Friday the 7th of February. And you can go ahead and mark your calendars, and let's see if that comes true. So again, running the loops one more time. We're not going to get anything from the yellows that you see. The winds just are not strong enough. And then we go totally quiet, which this is more typical of the season. And then we got a little out-of-season storm moving up our way. Okay, I wanted to take a close look at the jet stream. You can see that we're split off to Japan here, and there's quite a bit of wind speed up here, our side of the date line. And the jet does pass off to us to our east. And that's why these storms are getting so close to us. She's not quite what she was the last week or two with 220 knot winds, but these winds are still strong enough to be bringing us in some waves. Now, she tries to regather herself off of Japan and stretch out again. The split happens our side of the date line, which is more typical, and then it's bouncing up off to the west coast to bring them some waves, and obviously some instability in our area in the upper regions. As you can see, it's almost right down on top of us. Running the loops a little bit further, you can see that split remains there thanks to the high pressure. And then in the long haul, the jet is elongated and comes noses right towards Niihau and Kauai. And we'll see what Mother Nature brings. So far, the winds in the jet are not quite strong enough or conducive enough to supply the energy to get some storms going for some more giant waves. We still have a shot. It's only February 1st on this model. Okay, now we'll go ahead and focus down here on the south pack. You've just looked at the north pack. But in the long haul, we see a meridional or equatorial bound flow right there, bringing us up some hope for the south shores Friday the 7th and 8th. Okay, now taking a look at the hand-drawn charts. Here's our current scenario. There's a high pressure over the area. We are experiencing Kona winds today, so conditions not too good except for the windward side. That's going off, getting the wrap. There is the low pressure that's bringing us in our waves. There's the front that'll be turning our weather. High pressure moving in over here, bringing us back our trade winds here from, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But more low pressures and their associated tails or fronts are going to be bringing in some lousy weather next weekend or towards it. And we'll jump up to the upper regions showing features in the upper atmosphere 20,000 feet and up. We are all in all in a stable atmosphere. You can see by the brown shows sinking air or a more stable air mass in the upper regions, although it is cloudy locally at the surface level. But all in all, very dry, and this is why right here, if you saw these colors over the island, we would be getting rained on. So all in all, we're looking pretty good. This could change as a front nears. You can see hints of it right here. Drilling down, you can see a better picture with us here at 20 North, California coast up here. The broad sweep of the low pulling in those Kona winds. Drilling down, this gives you a really good eyeball of the weather that's on its way from the front. Highs are going to be about only 78 and the lows in the lower 60s with Wahiawa, of course, getting much colder. I heard earlier this week it got 55 degrees. And here you go. This shows a great example of the southwesterly flow in the winds and the clouds coming up. But all in all, we're still fairly dry thanks to the upper regions being stable. And that is the local swell tracker, everything you need to know for the waves, winds, and weather. We'll catch you back here next weekend. Aloha for now.